guys, it's Annie, and this is a review video on the Vice 4. My cousin is actually thinking about buying it, so I thought I'd do a little review video for her since I have it, and we both are a little obsessed with makeup. So here you go. It came in this cute little bag. It actually comes in a box, but then it has that bag. You have the palette. And it's gorgeous, the packaging is. You know, I'm a sucker for packaging. But as you can see, it is thicker. It's raised up here. It's definitely not a palette I would travel with, probably at all. I prefer smaller palettes. I actually have a small palette I take specifically for traveling. But it comes with a really big mirror. And then you have all the colors. Which, if you watched my last video, I kind of talked about this palette a little bit, but here I'm going to go into a lot more detail and do swatches. So I've had this palette for, it's really bright. I've had this palette for probably around a month, maybe a little bit less. When I first saw it, I was like, I have to have that. And then when I got it home, I was, there's something I don't really like about it, but then I was trying to decide whether or not to keep it. And in the end, I ended up keeping it because of the color choices. But I'm gonna go over some details. So the main thing that one of the main things I struggle with is, even though there are a lot of colors, there is like very few neutral for completing a look, I think. Even the neutrals that they have, the matte neutrals, which are this orangey, this one kind of has like a pinkish purplish tone, this one's creamy, and this one's gray. And even with those, I feel like they are just not neutral enough for me. I need those browns, I need those grays, those kind of things, which you do have some of those down here. That one, maybe that's kind of a purple, the black of course, but it's just not, I had a hard time doing a full look with that, which I did do on my eyes today. My eyes is only in the Vice palette, which I normally would not do. I would pair this with my Tartelette or something like that. So I'm gonna just start swatching colors. Oh wait, I have another note before I do that. Another thing I struggle with is the brush. I actually love this end of the brush, but this end, when I try to apply color with it, it does not transfer well. There's so much fallout when you try to transfer with this end. And so I have just been using this for blending, which it works great for. So let's go on to swatching for you. Because these colors are dark, and for fall, I feel like they need to be very pigmented. When they're not, I didn't use a primer on my eyes. So you can see it's very smoky, and I do like how this look turned out. However, definitely for this palette, I suggest using a primer. Take these first two colors, which are Bones and Framed. So this one is very peach. This one has more of a grayish, purplish tone. And then I have the next two in line, which are Discreet and Bitter. This is one of my favorite colors. I've been using this a ton. It's kind of bittery orange, pumpkin-y. The other one I have been using a lot as well, which I didn't get the best swatch there, so I'm gonna do that again. And that one it's purplish, a little bit mauve lavender, somewhere in that range. The next row, these all have glitter in them. The two of them are, well, the top one has glitter. The second one is more of a sheen. So I think this will be gorgeous for summer. This one is not pigmented hardly at all. It's a gray. There's a little bit of glitter in there. Grasshopper and Flame. I mean, right there you have well, once you put a primer under these, they shine. It just, without the primer, it's not quite like that. They're also a little bit wet. And then we have Deadbeat and 1985. So I feel like, specifically for my cousin, you would really like these two. I mean, those are your colors. I'm gonna do these two next. Which, this one is very satiny. They both are. Those ones are really pretty too. So as I was telling you, like, I really do like this palette. It has grown on me a lot. It just is, I think it was mostly just I didn't really like that brush. So we're gonna go with these two, which are both purples. Woo! Dang it, don't do that. I have Beat Down and Underhand, which these are probably my favorite colors in this set. All the purple shades in this are fabulous. Also, doing this video makes me like this palette even more. I know that's pretty silly. Can't believe I put my nail in that. And then we have Arctic and Crowbar. And Crowbar is what I have on my eyes today. And I really was struggling with it because, like, look at that. The color is definitely there. It just is when they have to be wet, or they have to be used with the primer. When otherwise they're like, I'll show you the same one without that. I'm gonna go down to these two, which are Pandemonium and Harlot. Yeah, they have a color called Harlot. Sounds questionable to me. So now that I'm getting these all wet, I'm loving this palette even more, which is kind of funny to me. But I'm gonna do the last two, which are Roxbury and Delete. And Delete, I've noticed I've been using a lot of, probably because it's the most neutral shade in here. So a lot of them have this really really neat texture. But okay, so I want to tell you the two I struggle with the most in this palette are these two, which is Crowbar and Low. And I think the main reason why is because they are just very look at that texture. There's just too much going on there. It's like dirt almost. And that's like a horrible way to describe it. And like, look at that. That is not looking good to me. So, which I did use on my eye. I do not have a primer on my eye. I used the Crowbar, not Low. Because I really wanted to challenge myself to use it, which I do like the smoky look it ended up giving. The glitter's not there once it's applied, so it applies better on the eye than it does swatching. But yeah, so those are the only things I really struggle with, are the colors, and not having enough neutrals for me to actually do a full look with this big of a palette. I think that's a little bit of a problem. and then the brush, and then those two shades. But other than that, I actually really love this palette, and I'm starting to love it even more. And the longer I've had it, the longer I've enjoyed it, and the more I actually use it. So there you go. That is my swatches. And I know you have a lot darker skin tone, but I think as long as you use your primer or use water, I think that will work really well for you. So I hope you enjoyed this. And I have another one I'm going to do for you. That's my glitter palette that I don't think you've really seen much of. So stay tuned. By the way, feel free to subscribe. I'm also, my YouTube channel is very, very new. I just wanted to share some creativity with you guys. But my Instagram is actually fairly large, I think, for my children's line. It's called Little Feather Threads. You're welcome to look me up. And thanks for subscribing. And if you have a channel, let me know because I'm super new here. So talk to you guys later.
Would you like to be? I'm trying to tell you something.